This is the Seattle traffic segment of the show. I'm going to show you what idiots these people are that are engineers. Okay, first of all, we have 1, 2, 3. We have a 4-lane street, right? What do? They put rail tracks here, and they got a freaking parking over here, bicycle. What's that do? You take 4 lanes for cars, and you make freaking parking spots. That's supposed to help. Then you got railroad tracks. Where's the frickin' train? I don't see it. Look at this. 1 itchy knee, San Yan, go. 5 lanes. 5 frickin' lanes. What is one of them? It's a frickin' parking spot. They took a lane of major traffic on a major arterial and they turn it into a frickin' parking spot. I can't believe it. This is a 4-lane street. I lived in Japan. I went over there for 9 years. I'm a mechanical engineer. You know, I worked in highway construction in Washington, and I will probably end up working in highway construction again. See, look at this. Don't park here because of a streetcar. Where I'm at right now, I'm illegally parked. I don't see any freaking streetcar, do you? Okay, so we have 1 itchy knee, San Yan, go, Roku. We have 5 lanes here. We have 5 lanes that we can have auto traffic on going one direction. Right here. This is a freaking parking spot. This is your light rail. Do you see anybody on it? Do you see anybody on your light rail? See that parking spot? This is 4 lanes right here. Itchy knee, San Yan. Itchy knee, San Yan, go. You have 5 lanes here. And they have a freaking parking spot. They take a major arterial like this. I could go all over this city and show you. Look at this. Look at this. Look at how obstructed this is, confusing, and dangerous. This is obstructing, confusing, and dangerous. This is what you engineers, you people that should be fired, if you were alive in the Middle Ages or when they built Egypt and those other great places in Rome, you know what they did to the engineers back then that screwed up? They didn't just fire them. No. They paid for it with their lives when they made mistakes like this. But nowadays they don't even get fired. They keep their job and they have all of this. I mean, I don't even have to tell you my background. Any nut like me can figure out that. Look at this. This is 4 lanes of traffic right here. 4 lanes. And it's all jumbled up. It's all confusing. And it's not really 4 lanes anymore. And they turn part of it into a parking spot. Okay, let's look at lane number 4 right here. It's a frickin' parking spot. It's a frickin' parking spot. Can you believe it? I come back from Japan, and this is what they did. How many cars you got? Where's your light rail and the people on it? Here it is. That's it right there. Where's your light rail with the people on it? They have this island right here that they screwed up. Okay. Look at how messed up this is. They got a damn stationary thing, a frickin' stop in the middle of a frickin' 4-lane road. Right here. God. What's this lane getting used for? Parking. Can you believe it? How they can take a 4-lane street and screw it up this bad? In my wildest, worst dreams of an engineer, I've never thought that anybody could intentionally or unintentionally screw the frickin' traffic up as much as they have in Seattle. I can't frickin' believe it! Look at this crap. How many people do you see all around you? How many people do you see all around here and there's one freaking lane, and you got a parking lane here. Who designs this stuff? I didn't. Okay, Jimi Hendrix would roll over in his grave if they would have known they'd done this to the roads here. Look at this. Look at this. This is totally screwed up. I saw this in Oslo, Norway, where they decided to take downtown and turn it into a little frickin' tourist thing. Now we got a frickin' tram coming up here, or a light rail, or whatever you want to call it. Now remember, I lived in Tokyo, Japan for 10 years. Ichi, San, Yon. It's 4 lanes. Go. Okay, so here we go. Here's the light rail coming up at us right now. This is what all this junk is about. That, how many people did you see on that? I looked at it really quickly. If you want to pay it back in slow-mo, I can tell you by a quick glance, that had 25 people on it. How many people you got here? You got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, me right now trying to get somewhere, and these people walking over here, and you got one damn little frickin' thing in the middle of the road. Now, the light rail, if they would have built it up there, where the rain is in Seattle, and it rains here, and you know I'm in Seattle because the streets are wet, but you would know by the location. But anyways, basically, they've destroyed this. They've destroyed Broadway. They've destroyed the transportation. I come back after 10 years, and they've completely ruined everything. Look at this. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. I mean, I could drive around all Seattle all day long and get a ticket from a cop filming this. You know, look at red light photo enforced. You know what happened in LA when they did that? More people ended up deaths. They had more traffic deaths with that than without the photo signal. Because you know why? Because people didn't want to get a ticket, so they'd run somebody over trying to make a light. And they actually outlawed photo cameras in Los Angeles. And so the light rail, okay, that's a great idea. But why not have it like a monorail, have it above the road, where it doesn't interfere with the traffic of the road? That's what they should have done. And that's what they need to do. And it would cost more money, and it would give more people jobs, which I'm all for because I work in that business, you know. And I'm not getting paid. I made this video because I just came back from Japan, and I was just so upset what the engineers have done to the traffic in this city. I mean, I could spend days and days and days pointing out other examples of what they've done. But they're freaking idiots. They all need to be fired. They need to be replaced. The politicians that hired them and pay for this stuff should all be fired. And they're all liberals. This is a liberal state. This is a democratic state. They're not going to vote for frickin'. They're going to vote for Hillary. This state is going to vote for Hillary. And then they talk with Trump about, you know, the allocations of money and the rich and taxation and all that stuff. Well, they're taxing all these rich people here that made all this development. All the liberals did. And what do we got? We got a freaking big traffic jam. You know. And so, I voted Democrat for years, and you know what? I'm going to give it to the business guy, the guy that won the debates. But we're talking about freaking traffic records. So allocation of funds should have came from the developers, the people that had the money, that made all that money in real estate, which is way overpriced right now. The real estate in Seattle is the same price as Los Angeles, and it's getting like New York. Eventually, it will supersede Los Angeles and New York. The traffic right now in Seattle, in my opinion, I've lived in Los Angeles, I've lived in the Valley, I've lived in Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, different areas, and this traffic is compatible with Los Angeles, if not worse right now, and it will continue at the rate it's going to get worse. And you know, I think it was a great idea they legalized pot, but I don't think they should legalize this building of excessive homes. I mean, I understand why people want to move here. It's a good economy. They want to get a good job. They can get stoned and smoke pot legally. I mean, there's a lot of good perks from living here, and the economy and all that. I can understand why someone would want to move to Seattle. It's a great place to live. It has relatively low crime. Most of the people are really cool, or they used to be really cool, but they're not. now as much. There's still some cool people, but basically they're ruining the city by the traffic. And the people that should be paying are the developers, and they're not. And the multi-billion-dollar corporations. The multi-billion-dollar corporations that are in Seattle will employ people and bring people in here for jobs, but they won't develop the infrastructure. And that used to be a criteria for financing the infrastructure, was the large corporations that bring their money in and create the jobs. Well, they need roads, transportation systems, highways, freeways, subways, buses, electrical buses like I'm following right now, to get their workers to and from work. Otherwise, it would have to be a place where everybody lives on the job, at their work. And it's just, they're not doing that in the States right now. Maybe in the future, I don't know. So everybody's evading responsibility. They're not doing their jobs, and they all need to be fired all the way down, from the politicians down. And the people that made those mistakes, I think they should hold them accountable, put them in civil court and sue them, and take away every cent that they have and every cent they've earned for all the disgusting mistakes they've made with the transportation in Washington. It's horrible. Now I'm going to talk about solutions. I've talked about the problem. I'm going to talk about solutions. So I talked about solutions as far as financing, is all the people that are overdriving, overextending the price of real estate in the state of Washington should all pay for their profits. What do? They come here and they take the money and then they run. And this show's about Video Seattle, and you're probably watching it because you're thinking of coming to Seattle. What you need to do is you need to come here and make a bunch of profit off the real estate and work, and then leave. Because that's what everybody else is doing, so you might as well. And I don't blame you, because they're all doing the same thing. And it's being allowed, it's legally being done in this wonderful liberal state that we live in. So I talked about the financing solutions, who should burden most of it, the people, the developers, the people, and the corporations that are creating the issue. And also the other thing is the corrupt politicians are involved with the corporations, and they're in bed with the corporations, but we already know that. So that's the big part of the problem there. Okay, now subways. I was in Tokyo, Japan, the most crowded city in the world, period. I lived there for 10 years of my life. I could get from downtown Seattle to Everett in 15 minutes in rush hour traffic at 5 o'clock. In Seattle, approximately 30 years ago, I could drive down I-5 at 6 p.m. at about 70 miles an hour. I could drive over the floating bridge. I've driven over the floating bridge at 140 plus miles an hour. Both of the floating bridges at 140 plus miles an hour, and the one that sank during rush hour traffic before, and that's a fact, in different muscle cars that I owned years ago. You could not do that now, even if you wanted to. So they need to develop subways, and unfortunately I'm running short on time to get into the specifics of subways, but